Stubbs wasn't always Stubbs. Originally, his legal name was Crisp P. Tater. But then one fateful day, old Tater got a little too riled up by the mail truck going down the street and decided it was time for a tussle. Saw that thing coming and jerked the leash right on my hand. He was usually a docile fella, and it caught me by complete surprise. I couldn't stop him in time. Now, I probably don't need to tell you this, but an 80-pound golden retriever and a 1-ton Grumman are two very different weight classes. Tater lost that fight. Got chucked right off that hood like a sack of, well, taters. Tore his back legs up real good. I may not have been able to stop my buddy from getting hit, but I for damn sure wasn't going to let him die on the road. I hauled his fat ass to the emergency vet as quickly as I could. It was touch and go for a bit. The hit had sent the poor fella into shock, but the doctors got him the oxygen he needed and he pulled through. Unfortunately, Tater's hind legs were just too mangled to be saved, and he had to have a partial amputation on each one. Animal prosthetics have come a long way though, and the clinic set him up with some nice new hardware that would have him trotting along almost as good as new. When all was said and done, Tater came away with a healthy respect for traffic and a new nickname, Stubbs. Stubbs got back to his happy-go-lucky self fairly quickly, all things considered. Sure, it took a couple of weeks of practice to get him used to the prosthetics, but it wasn't long before he had mastered them well enough for us to go on about our business as usual. Now here's where things get a bit strange, so just bear with me. I'm what most people would call a good old boy, raised by a couple of poor farmers out in the sticks. The idea that an animal might have a soul was not something I had given much weight to. At least, not until Stubbs. My best buddy had himself a bona fide near-death experience in that operating room, and I think he brought something back with him. It started small at first. Stubbs has never had much of an attention span, but after the accident I started to notice him noticing things. Sometimes I would be on the couch watching TV while Stubbs happily slung around one of his chew toys. He would be throwing it in the air and catching it, not a care in the world, then just freeze up. The toy would hit the ground and roll away like it had never even existed. Stubbs would be locked in place, staring off into the other room. When I would take him for walks in the park, there were times that I would almost trip on him because he would just stop in the middle of the path like he hit a brick wall. All the coaxing and calling wouldn't get him moving again until he was done. Then, things started to escalate. The first incident was at breakfast. I had taken Stubbs with me for a walk downtown, and it was such a nice day that I decided we would have ourselves a little meal on the patio of the local diner. I had gotten myself a nice plate of bacon, eggs, and hash, with an extra order of bacon on the side for Stubbs. He was enjoying a piece when the waitress walked out to refill our coffee, and he froze up. That piece of bacon fell right out of his mouth. He locked onto that waitress and started to let out a low growl. I had to assure her he wouldn't bite, and he didn't. But it might have been better if he had. When she started to walk away, that coffee pot in her hand started to quiver, and the whole thing exploded. That poor girl got a face full of scalding coffee and glass, and had to be rushed to the ER. I hope she ended up making it through okay. I was pretty spooked after the whole thing, but I hadn't put two and two together yet. And you know what they say, ignorance is bliss. The next time, things ended much worse. I was taking Stubbs on a walk through the neighborhood and we were passing by Mr. Jones' house. The old man was out mowing his lawn and was making a cut along the front besides us when Stubbs locked up and started howling his head off. This time, I noticed something. Stubbs was trying his hardest to crane his neck and look away, but he couldn't manage. Stubbs kept staring and Mr. Jones clutched at his chest and fell right off that mower. Your typical lawnmower has a safety feature to shut itself off when your weight leaves the seat, but Mr. Jones had no such luck. He hit the ground and that mower swapped to reverse and chewed that man to a pulp. That brings us to my current predicament. A couple of nights ago, I woke up to Stubbs frozen in my bed, staring me dead in the eyes. A low growl emitting from his chest as I watched him struggle and twitch. Eventually, he managed to look away from me. Since that night, he's been avoiding me. Won't come when I call and runs away if I try to go near him. But when we do pass, I see those muscles in his neck tense as he does his damnedest to avoid eye contact. I don't know how long we can keep this up, but Stubbs has always been my best friend. It warms my heart to see that apparently I've always been his.